I'm just a lazy video gamer, even too lazy to make a new intro. Hello out there in and it's me again, the lazy video gamer, and maybe you can guess it from the back that in this week's episode I'm taking a cheap shot as well, cause it's another Sunday and another Mega CD Super Episode Sunday. So let's jump right into the games. So I'm starting with Soulstar from Core Design, an amazing game. The rotating and scaling ability of the Mega CD brings so much to this game. It looks perfect, even better than the 32X version of this game. Also superior on the Mega CD is of course the sound. It has an absolute fantastic soundtrack. It fits perfect to this game. But on the 32X it's more like an 8-bit noise, if you want to compare it to the Mega CD version. Now the next game is from Digital Pictures. It's Prize Fighter, full motion video boxing, let me say experience, not game. I never had a chance in this game to compare with anybody. I like the game for the cheesy story and of course the legendary Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight, we have four of the biggest and baddest, fiercest and meanest fighters this side of thermonuclear war. You better be ready for me.
The next game, also from Digital Pictures, Double Switch. I have and hold it in my collection, but in my view it's a more complicated version of Night Trap, and yeah, it doesn't make that much fun. From Sega Sports, Formula 1 World Championship Beyond the Limit, aka Heavenly Symphony, is an absolute treasure. Now, You have a Grand Prix mode, the 93 mode, and of course training rounds. In the 93 mode you can revisit some events from the past, and of course the heart of the game now is the Grand Prix mode. First you have to qualify yourself to race for a team, but before you even can get in the first car, you have this fantastic audiovisual presentation of the course.
This course designed for individual driving is most suitable to check both the potential of machines and their settings, as well as the driver's performance. The hilly 15-meter wide course has both fast and slow corners, the first and second of which are known.
Now the gameplay itself is, you can compare it to Monaco Grand Prix with a little bit more simulation in it. Viacom presents us Dracula Unleashed. It's a full motion video detective horror game. You mostly see the game in this perspective as full motion videos, where you have some icons down there where you can act, but you have to watch and listen carefully to solve the riddle of the murder of your brother. And of course, defeating Dracula. Unfortunately, it's very hard. It is that kind of hard. You have so many dead ends in the game that you have to play it over and over, maybe again. 'Cause maybe once you go to the wrong place at the wrong time and don't get the clue. Today, luckily, we got the internet and you can download some walkthroughs. So if you once stuck in the game, you can start it over and from the beginning and find out more about the story. One of the oldest pictures, let me say pictures that you see, are the traveling scenes where you click on a destination where you want to go. Sometimes you get a clue and you know where to go, but sometimes not. You also had many other features, like saving, of course, and a little bit of hint from Dr. Van Helsing. As I mentioned maybe once before, if you collect or played the Mega CD, you recognized one thing. You can save, but the space is limited. So this is the perfect opportunity for me to telling you to buy a RAM card. But European RAM cards are very expensive. They were rare back then and are of course rare today. Buy instead a Japanese RAM card, and if you have a region code adapter already, try it at home, try it with that, and then or buy a new one. So you don't have the trouble of erasing a save data anymore. And in this game especially, you realize it, you need it. Okay, the next game is a short glimpse cause I bought it only for collector purpose. It's the Eye of the Beholder. It's a dungeon crawler, and there are people out there who likes those games. I'm not especially a fan of it, of this genre, but for fans of the genre, I'm pretty sure you'll get a great time out of this game, and it's not that expensive. But as I told you once before, expensive or cheap in the Mega CD sector is a funky word, let me say that. Okay, back to the game. Now you create your 4 heroes, you're giving them a look, an attribute and a name, and then you hit the game and walk through this dungeon. For the times back then, the graphic is okay, but as I mentioned, I'm not a great fan of these games, and I played it only for you right now to show you this game, and I don't have to play it very long because I'm stuck. I walk around, look left, look right, explore a little. Find a door. Walk more around. Find another door with a lever. Now I'm pushing the lever, the door opens, and a monster comes out and kills me. Now, this game is of course one of my favorites. On the Mega CD it was the only like the original game. All other games on the NES, Super NES, Game Boy were platformers, and it wasn't the same experience. Okay, the graphics are a little bit grainy, yes, but it is Dragon Slayer, as you maybe know it and you maybe love it. You watch a movie and push up or down, left or right, or attack in a certain time, and then the movie continues. You will die a lot. Next game is, as you maybe can guess from the bubbles and from this pictures here, is Echo the Dolphin Tides of Time. Today these games had a very casual way of controls. Back then the game wasn't that evolved, so you have to deal with the controls. And as you see, maybe you have to try it and try over and over again what to do. But when you find out what to do, you're having like this time travels, wonderful levels with wonderful music and wonderful CGI movies. But when I visit back for this game, I didn't find the place where you can find this CGI movies. So I played and played and played and had a great time. I was completing 2 or 3 levels before I realized, no, this CGI movie must be somewhere else. So I was really following the game. It has little quests like finding this emeralds and bring it to, let me say, Mother Emerald, and then you can go ahead. Guess which fantastic Mega CD game could that be? It is, of course, the first NBA Jam. It's basically an upgraded version of the Mega Drive module with a fantastic sound, even more better than on the Genesis or Mega Drive, as we call it, and with a new updated player raster. Sadly, it is not longer possible to crash the board of the basket. That was a cool feature. In the Super Nintendo it did it occasionally. On the Mega Drive you can actually control it when it happens, but in the Mega CD version you have better sounds, a new raster, as I mentioned, but there is something missing. You want 2 things, you lose one thing. In my opinion, at the end of the day, it's a 1 or a win. It came with those famous halftime report videos, but on the Mega CD they were different from game to game. There were some variations in it. The game actual is very simple for those people who are not familiar with NBA Jam. It's a 2-on-2 basketball game without rules, or let me say, not more rules than necessary. It is funny because I grew up with NBA Jam and there was a sequel, NBA Hang Time, after the NBA Jam franchise, but there was also a predecessor, It was in the arcade, it was converted to the Mega Drive and the NES with some difference, and I'm talking about arch rivals. So there were arch rivals, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, and then came NBA Hang On or Hang Time and NBA Hoops later on the Dreamcast. Now we have a game. When it was released, I don't give a first look or let me say second look at the game. I was not that interested in such adventure game. It's called Umemi Mystery Mansion. The story is that you and your sister go to this particular place and she's telling you the legend her grandma told her about these plants, these flowers, and the tree above you couldn't see, and that it's possible you'll be transformed in a butterfly. That is what happens to your sister. And then you come in the search for your sister to this mansion. And you hear some voices. Basically, it's a survival horror game. Survival horror / adventure game like Resident Evil, but without zombies. There are no opponents in this house. You're all alone. You only hear the voices of the butterflies, and you have to find some items to progress in the game. Sometime a key, sometime a box of matches. One fact, I think it's in my eyes funny. When I played this game first, I recognized it as a rendered CGI game. Officially, it counts as a full motion video game. You can talk about this and you can fight and argue about this. But what you can argue about is that when you're patient and wanna try this experience, it is worth it. Sadly, I must say, it is a very short game. When you know what you have to do, maybe with a walkthrough, or you already played it one time and finished it, and you made yourself a walkthrough, you can end this game in under an hour. Okay, it's funny, in Resident Evil you also can play very fast through. You get some hints, you get some tips, and maybe you can rescue your sister. It isn't cheap anymore nowadays. It costs me the new price almost 25 years later. But as you know, I collect for the Mega CD. In my eyes, it was worth it. If you can find it for cheaper and you like such games, give it a try. And if you have the luck and live in America, the American version is what I saw a lot cheaper. That is a fact for almost every Mega City game. We're coming now to the Namco game Starblade. I always thought that the game actually is called Starblade Alpha, but that's not true. The game is called Starblade. It is an adaptation from the arcade game with the same name. And Starblade Alpha was an upgraded version for the PlayStation 1 and the 3DO. But more known for the PlayStation, but it was first released on the 3DO. Okay, back to this version. It's a rail shooter. It's hard as hell. And of course, there are graphical limitations with the Mega CD. The Mega CD hasn't enough power to bring you all the glorious graphics, or not so glorious graphics, than the arcade. As I mentioned, Starblade Alpha looks better, but of course it was later released on a more powerful hardware. What you see now on the left is one of those big ships. These big ships has some grey or blue or red shaded textures. Plain, simple, but okay. But the big difference to the arcade version is that the little ships and the little bombs and projectiles are wireframe models. Okay, they fly very fast through the screen, so who cares? Back in the days when this game was released on the Mega CD, yeah, many people cared. I remembered when I saw the game first, my impression was, if I be honest, this looks boring. It has not much colors on the objects and only wireframe spaceships. Why shouldn't I play that? Nowadays I see it, of course, through the eyes of a collector or a nostalgia or nostalgic freak. And I think why I bought it, why I didn't bought it earlier. It makes real fun. Today, now, my love for shooters is bigger than back in the days. So here it is, that game from the Mega CD maybe I love the most. It's Tom Carelli, a playable, let me say, Top Gun movie. And of course it's a full motion video game, but not that bad or that limited like Dragon Slayer, up, down, left, right action. You have actual control
It's good to be home, huh? Let's go.
of the rockets on your Tomcat. It's basically a simple shooting range, but it works, in my opinion, perfect for this game. It has a cool story. And as you see and realize, a big screen. It's full screen. It is grainy, but back then it was the best possible graphic. And with my retro glasses, goggles on, I don't see the grainy graphics. But jump right to the game. This game is in fact the most released game in Europe, or let me say in the PAR region. There were a couple of games that came in a with different language audios, but on the reason from the limited space on a CD, the whole audio fits only for one language on one disc, and they sold you for every language a separate disc. We have now here the English, the first release that was. It was also released with German audios, what you hear now.
Shadow 5, which plays Shadow 3, over. Shadow 3, through Ratchet. Keeping up on 3, over. Gib mir den ersten Kontrollpunkt.
It also was released in Spanish.
He metido el rumbo del ordenador. Copio. Tengo aparatos enemigos a la vista. Copio. Larguémonos de aquí y comprobémoslo.
Cuidado, Shadow 5.
Lo tengo bien encuadrado. Copio, dispara.
Mania is awesome. It has the better sound than on the Super Nintendo, the better sound than on the Mega Drive, the better graphics as on the SNES, and a little bit better than on the Mega Drive. It's a basic platformer with lovely graphics where you have to play certain cartoons from the early years of Mickey Mouse. In fact, this version of the game was the best adaptation or conversation of the game back in the day. Later it was released also under the title Mickey's Wild Adventure for the PlayStation 1, but that was years after that. It is of course not so fast paced like Sonic the Hedgehog, but it makes a lot of fun. It reminds me also in the quality to Mickey's Castle of Illusion. It has a great engine from the perspective of gameplay. Various enemies directly from the cartoons. I think it's also interesting that all those bitmap graphic games from those days look even today very pretty, but early 3D titles aren't. So the next one is Lethal Enforcers 2 Gunfighters. It's a shooting range. I'm not especially good at these games, but it makes a lot of fun with a lad to shoot down the bad guys. In this case now, you are in the Wild West, of course, as the good sheriff and getting rid of the criminals. You can play it with the joypad or even a light gun. But playing with a light gun today is impossible if you don't have an old CRT, because the new televisions are not compatible to this old technique. Play it instead with a pad and you get your fun out of this game. It was also released as a module. Of course, I didn't own that game on module. I bought it back several years ago on CD and liked it. What you see now is the difference in this game. So I'll be quiet. So, this is of course Pitfall, the main adventure, the Mega CD version of course. It was also released on Super Nintendo and Mega Drive. Also on 32X, but this version on 32X, like Soulstar, is the baddest one. And this version is the best in graphic and, of course, I'm pretty sure, in music. It's a basic platformer. I don't have to explain that. But I'll be honest with you, I never would buy this game if I don't collect for the Mega CD. Cause I got it on module for the Mega Drive and that's my favorite version. There is a code in the game where you can play the original Pitfall from the Atari 2500, and it's in every adaptation different. And on the Mega Drive I know the combination, on Super Nintendo you can read it, but on the Mega CD never worked. So, this is of course Earthworm Jim special edition for the Mega CD. It has this cool animated Sega logo intro. Has a fantastic sound. But the difference between the modules, yeah, there are there. It has some additional costumes. It has some additional levels. But that's it. It is not cheap. It's more than new price today. And if you just want to take a look at this game, you find it on other platforms. Earthworm Jim back in the day was something different. It was a platformer, as I mentioned, with great sound, a great gameplay, and let me say, for a platformer, a really dark setting and dark humor, as you can see. It was released and published by Virgin and produced or programmed with from the Shiny team, which the legendary David Perry was an important man. And for the David Perry games, there were always these cheat codes who, when you put it in, first you get attacked for cheating. If you are interested in platformers and you can bite you in such a hard difficulty level, that's the game for you. Crazy end bosses and boss fights are on your daily mission in this game. So that was it for this week's Lazy Video Gamer Show. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications, and leave a commentary down below if you liked it, or even if you don't like it. But yeah, have a fantastic rest of Sunday, a fantastic week, and don't forget, welcome to the next level.